Sarah Mitchell was 32 years old when she became a hero. It was a summer afternoon at Riverside Park, and she was there with friends, sitting on a bench near the playground, half watching children play while scrolling through her phone. Then she heard the screaming. A 4-year-old boy had fallen into the river. The current was strong. He was going under. Sarah didn't hesitate. She ran to the water's edge, dove in, and pulled the child to safety. Paramedics arrived. The boy was fine, just scared and cold. His mother was hysterical with gratitude. The local news covered it. Sarah Mitchell, hero. The woman who risked her life to save a drowning child. They gave her an award. The mayor shook her hand. The boy's family invited her to every birthday party for the next 15 years. Sarah smiled through all of it. She accepted the praise. She let them call her a hero. She never told anyone the truth. She never told them that 30 seconds before that boy fell into the river, she'd been the one who startled him. She'd been taking a photo, backing up to get a better angle, and she'd bumped into him hard. Hard enough that he stumbled backward toward the edge. Hard enough that he lost his balance. Hard enough that he fell. This isn't a story about a hero. It's a story about a woman who spent 15 years being celebrated for saving a child from a danger she created, and whether saving someone erases the fact that you're the reason they needed saving at all. Sarah Mitchell had moved to Riverside, a small town in upstate New York, 6 months before the incident. She was working as a freelance graphic designer, new to the area, trying to make friends. That Sunday in June, she'd gone to the park with 2 acquaintances from a local hiking group. They were sitting on a bench talking when Sarah decided to take a photo of the river. It was beautiful that day, sunlight on the water, perfect for her Instagram. She stood up, held her phone out, started backing up to get the right angle. She didn't see the little boy behind her. His name was Ethan Cooper. He was 4 years old, wearing a red shirt, playing near the riverbank while his mother talked to another parent 20 feet away. Sarah backed into him. She felt the impact, turned, saw him stumbling. She reached for him but missed. He fell backward off the small embankment into the water. The river wasn't deep there, maybe 4 feet, but the current was swift. Ethan went under immediately. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Sarah's brain went into panic mode. She didn't think. She just acted. She ran to the edge and jumped in. The water was cold and faster than it looked. She grabbed Ethan, pulled him up, fought the current to get them both to the shore. Her friends helped pull them out. Ethan was coughing, crying, terrified but alive. His mother, Jennifer Cooper, ran over screaming. Someone had already called 911. Paramedics arrived within minutes. They checked Ethan. He was fine. Cold, scared, but fine. Jennifer Cooper turned to Sarah, tears streaming down her face, and said, "You saved my son. You saved my baby. Thank you. Thank you." Sarah stood there, dripping wet, shaking from adrenaline and cold and the shock of what had just happened. She opened her mouth to say, "I'm the one who knocked him in." But what came out was, "I just reacted. I'm glad he's okay." And that was the moment Sarah became a hero instead of the person responsible. The story spread fast. Small town, dramatic rescue, photogenic young woman who dove into a river to save a drowning child. The local newspaper ran it the next day with a photo of Sarah and Ethan together at the hospital. Sarah looked humble, Ethan looked tiny and vulnerable, Jennifer looked grateful. The headline, "Local Woman Risks Life to Save Drowning Boy." Sarah read the article and felt sick. It described her as happening to be nearby when Ethan accidentally fell into the river. It quoted Jennifer saying Sarah was an angel. It quoted the paramedics saying Sarah's quick action likely saved Ethan's life. None of it was wrong, exactly. But none of it was the whole truth. Sarah thought about calling the newspaper and correcting the story. But what would she say? Actually, I knocked him into the river, then pulled him out. It sounded absurd. It sounded like she'd pushed a child into water on purpose. And technically, she hadn't. It was an accident. She'd been backing up, not looking, and she'd bumped him. That wasn't malicious. That was just careless. So Sarah said nothing. And the story grew. The mayor's office called. They wanted to give her a community service award. A local podcast interviewed her. Jennifer Cooper started a Facebook post about Sarah that went semi-viral in the region. People Sarah had never met stopped her on the street to say she was a hero. And every time someone said it, Sarah felt the same twist of guilt and shame. But she also felt something else. She felt seen. Before the incident, Sarah had been invisible in Riverside. The new girl. The freelancer working from home. Someone people smiled at but didn't really know. After the incident, she was someone. She had an identity. She was the woman who saved Ethan Cooper. People wanted to be her friend. Invitations came. Coffee dates, dinner parties, hiking trips. Sarah was suddenly part of the community in a way she'd wanted but hadn't achieved in 6 months of trying. And all of it was built on a lie she'd told by omission. Jennifer Cooper became Sarah's closest friend. Jennifer was 38, a nurse, a single mother raising Ethan on her own after a difficult divorce. She was warm, generous, endlessly grateful. She invited Sarah to everything. Ethan's birthday parties. Holiday dinners. Weekend trips. She introduced Sarah to everyone as the woman who saved my son. And Sarah let her. Because what was the alternative? 15 years of friendship, and Sarah never told Jennifer the truth. She told herself it didn't matter. Ethan was fine. He didn't remember falling. He'd been 4 years old, the whole incident was a blur to him. No lasting trauma. No harm done. Sarah had jumped in and saved him, and that was what mattered. The fact that she'd caused the fall in the first place was irrelevant, she told herself. Except it wasn't irrelevant. It gnawed at her. Especially during moments when Jennifer would get emotional about it. Like Ethan's 10th birthday, when Jennifer gave a toast thanking Sarah for giving her 10 more years with her son. Or the time Jennifer told Sarah she considered her family. Or the hundreds of small moments when someone would mention the rescue and Jennifer's eyes would fill with grateful tears. If this story has your heart racing, comment "I'm still watching." Sarah thought about confessing many times over the years. But the longer she waited, the harder it became. How do you tell your best friend, 15 years later, that the heroic story she's been telling about you is incomplete? That you knocked her son into the river before you saved him? That every award, every thank you, every moment of gratitude was based on her not knowing the full truth? Sarah imagined the conversation 1,000 times. She imagined Jennifer's face. The confusion. Then the hurt. Then the anger. She imagined Jennifer asking, "Why didn't you tell me that day? Why did you let me thank you? Why did you let me call you a hero for 15 years? And Sarah didn't have a good answer. The truth was, she'd liked being a hero. She'd liked being special. She'd liked the friendship and the community and the identity it gave her. And she'd been too cowardly to risk losing it all by telling the truth. Then, on Ethan's 19th birthday, everything changed. Jennifer threw a party. Ethan was home from college for the summer. Sarah was there, of course. She'd watched Ethan grow up. She'd been at every birthday. During the party, Ethan stood up to make a speech. He was tall now, confident, studying environmental science. He said he wanted to thank everyone who'd supported him, but especially he wanted to thank Sarah. He said, "When I was 4, Sarah saved my life. I don't remember it, but I've heard the story my whole life. And I've always wanted to do something meaningful to honor that. So I've decided to become a paramedic after I graduate. I want to save people the way Sarah saved me." The room erupted in applause. Jennifer was crying. Everyone was looking at Sarah with admiration. And Sarah felt like she was going to be sick. Ethan's entire career path, his purpose, his sense of meaning, was based on a story that wasn't complete. He was becoming a paramedic to honor a heroic act that had started with Sarah's carelessness. Sarah excused herself. She went to the bathroom and stared at herself in the mirror. She was 47 years old. She'd lived 15 years as a hero. And in that moment, she realized she couldn't do it anymore. She found Jennifer after the party, after everyone had left. She said, "I need to tell you something about the day Ethan fell." Jennifer looked confused. Sarah took a breath and said, "I was the one who knocked him into the river. I was backing up to take a photo and I bumped into him and he fell. Then I jumped in and pulled him out. But I'm the reason he fell in the first place." The silence that followed felt endless. Jennifer stared at Sarah like she was speaking a foreign language. Then she said, "What?" Sarah explained it again. Slower. Every detail. The photo. The backing up. The collision. The fall. Jennifer's face went through a series of expressions. Confusion. Disbelief. Understanding. Hurt. Anger. She said, "You've known this for 15 years. You let me call you a hero for 15 years. You let Ethan build his whole identity around you saving him when you were the one who put him in danger." Sarah said, "It was an accident. I didn't mean to knock him in. I was careless, but I wasn't malicious." Jennifer said, "I don't care if it was malicious. You lied. For 15 years. You let me believe a story that wasn't true. You let me invite you into my family. You let my son base his life direction on a lie." Sarah said, "I did save him. That part is true." Jennifer said, "That part doesn't erase the other part. You don't get credit for fixing a problem you caused." Sarah tried to explain. She said she'd been scared that day. She said she tried to tell the truth but didn't know how. She said she was sorry. Jennifer listened. Then she said something that destroyed Sarah. She said, "Get out of my house. And don't come back." Sarah left. She tried calling Jennifer the next day. Jennifer didn't answer. She tried texting. No response. She tried going to Jennifer's house. Jennifer wouldn't open the door. Ethan called Sarah 2 days later. He said, "My mom told me what you said. I don't know what to think. I need time." Sarah said, "I'm sorry. I should have told you both years ago." Ethan said, "Yeah. You should have." Then he hung up. Sarah Mitchell is 49 now. She hasn't spoken to Jennifer or Ethan in 2 years. Jennifer told mutual friends what Sarah had confessed, and the story spread through Riverside the same way the original heroic story had spread. People's reactions were mixed. Some said Sarah had still saved Ethan, so she was still a hero. Others said the omission of truth for 15 years was unforgivable. Others said it was complicated. Sarah moved to a different town a year after the confession. She couldn't handle the stares, the whispers, the loss of the identity she'd built. She doesn't tell people about Ethan anymore. When asked if she's ever saved anyone's life, she says no. Because she's learned that saving someone doesn't make you a hero if you're the reason they needed saving. And accepting praise for 15 years when you know you don't fully deserve it doesn't make you humble. It makes you a coward. This is Sarah's hidden chapter. Not the rescue. Everyone knew about the rescue. The hidden chapter is the 30 seconds before the rescue. The moment she knocked a 4-year-old into a river. The split-second decision to say, "I just reacted," instead of, "I'm the one who knocked him in." The 15 years of living a lie by omission. The friendships built on incomplete truth. The awards accepted under false pretenses. The moment she finally confessed and lost everything. Sarah doesn't know if she did the right thing by confessing. Jennifer and Ethan might have been happier never knowing. But Sarah couldn't carry it anymore. The weight of being celebrated for something she only half deserved was too heavy. So she told the truth. And the truth cost her everything she'd gained from the lie. If you've ever been praised for something you didn't fully deserve, if you've ever let people believe a version of events that made you look better than the reality, if you've ever built a life on a story you knew wasn't complete, then you understand Sarah's hidden chapter. Some lies are loud. Sarah's was quiet. Just a detail left out. Just a clarification she didn't make. Just a truth she didn't correct. And 15 years later, that quiet lie had grown into an entire identity she could no longer live with. What would you have done? Would you have confessed that day? Or would you have stayed silent and kept the hero status? Drop your answer in the comments. There's no right answer. Just the one you could live with. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next hidden chapter.